We're still in the winner bracket. Underdog Cup number 2 for Division 4 and 5 of HeroesLounge. Continues with another best of 3 series. In the winner bracket, Mocus Ferralis is playing against Sloth Sanctuary. So, if you already go for... I mean, honestly, I don't know why, but when I see Sloth Sanctuary, in my head I see Abathur. It makes no sense, I know, but... part of me is just like, literally, I hope they play Abathur. It would just fit perfectly, and it is a little bit of a shame that I think this is not going to happen. The Sloth, the Slug is not being respected enough these days. We also have now bans on 2 supports, so Oriel gets banned and we have Alexstrasza eliminated. The rules still apply here, by the way, that heroes can only be played once within a series. Now this has a bit more of an impact when we're talking about the lower level leagues that we of course see here. The average level of play is around gold plus minus is normally what you're getting, but we'll see how they're handling this. It's going to be a bit funny. Once that you go to game number 3, things start to become quite funny because some players are starting to run out of heroes and run into a little bit of trouble here. But now Sergeant Hammer has also been banned out. Jojo gets banned. That's obviously a meta ban on Tomb of the Spider Queen. But it's noteworthy to again point out that a lot of the picks and the bans are centering more around personal preference of the teams than necessarily what is meta on a certain map. So if you compare that to the performance that you see from players then on the highest level, the ex-pros for example, then you will very quickly see differences just in the ban and pick patterns alone. I mean, Alexstrasza and Oriel would never be banned there in that pattern on the first map. Now we get Anduin as our first pack. And, well, over on the right side for Mocus Ferralis. I would like some Morales. Give me some Morales with a nice auto attacker, just a bit for meme sakes alone. But first we get Chromie and we get Blaze. So yeah, here we go again indeed. She has been a regular in the matches that we've seen so far. On the blue team side, well, they have Anduina. Now they just need to have a little bit of wave clear. Mages have been very popular here. We have still Jaina, Kel'Thas, Gul'dan. Normally Gul'dan would probably be the highest pick, but Kel'Thas has been played a lot here. And there he is again. Kel'Thas is in, and they get Stitches. So already they have several tools after a hook that can make this more dangerous. You have a hook into a gravity lapse, you have Anduin with a pull after Gorge kicks in for Stitches. So once again playing around Stitches and his hook ability. And the red team will have to try and react to that and see how they're going to deal with it. Multiple tools, of course. Haven't really seen any Medivh plays here yet, so I don't think that this is necessarily a level in which we're going to see a lot of Medivh, but he would of course be one of the potential picks against Stitches and with Stitches. With Stitches, you're working on a kidnap combo, Gorge into a portal and just like try and get the target behind some walls and isolate it completely. And on the other side, if you get that shield and that portal up after Stitches hooks somebody, that's an easy escape tool that can be used to make sure that nobody dies. Mephisto gets banned. Some of the typical heroes that we could still see here, Junkrat Hanzo, of course. Nice vision, nice interrupt potential on any attempted turn-in on gems. But we get Garrosh banned out, so they're dealing with the front line a bit here. And, well, talking about that front line, what is our tank going to be? Muradin, Diablo, all good choices. And they go for Mei. We're gonna get some Overwatch. Mei and Rhaegar, the picks for them. So with Rhaegar and the Lightning Shield, a little bit more wave play that you have. But they still need something. This is still not enough. You have Blaze, which is always nice. Rhaegar can help a little bit. But their final pick needs to be someone that has an actual AoE clear. So if they go for something like Gul'dan, they have obviously the kind of problem that they are running a double mage lineup, which you can, but it's not the typical choice. Leo together with Stitches, so even the Entomb, even more slows, and then we get Hanzo. That could be a fiery lineup that they're using. But now, Mocus Ferralis. What is the final choice here? Again, they need some wave clear. There's Kel'Thas on the other side, Leo, Stitches, they go for Greymane. Alright, the Wolf Pack. We'll see how that works out for them, if they got enough here. Sloth Sanctuary, though, with a pretty well-rounded draft. We're heading into game number 1. Let's find out which team takes the lead. First map of the best of 3 series, and we have Sloth Sanctuary, also known as the SS. In blue, we got Morpheus on Stitches, Lucy on Hanzo, Zolt's Decay on Kelthas, we got Rabbit on Leoric, and Tiny Owl is playing Anduin. Oh, on the right side, Mokus Ferales with Ziggy on Rega. We got Tofu Freak on Blaze. And you gotta get your protein from something, right? Captain Barney on May, going into the level 1 heat transfer. Taylor Wax on Chromie. And Punch McFist is playing Greymane. Alright, so let's punch a little bit. Punchy, punchy, punchy. I mean, if you have Greymane, I guess you are punching a little bit. So that's that. But now we have also Chromie getting us stacks. Oh, stacks! I was talking about Chromie stacks, but look over to Stitches. We have him on level 1 with Hungry for More. Love it, especially on this map. If he makes the rotation between the mid and the top lane, then we are gonna get him with not only some added movement speed later on, but also a pretty sexy hit point pool. So, yeah, so far, so good. That's setting us up for some real nice action. And Stitches is getting another one. That is globe number 3. So work it in the early game, and you're going to be rewarded later on. I'm absolutely somebody that loves when we're having action around that particular talent. It's just fun. Late game Stitches, the unkillable, is just fun to watch. It's pretty cool. So currently, what we're getting is at the bottom of the map, still an interplay between our side laners, and Leo is bodying Blaze here. So good for Rabbit. That is some solid 1v1ing from him. And that makes it very tricky now for Blaze to hold that lane properly. I like that the teams at the 1 minute mark make immediate moves towards their respective mercenary camps. Greymane is also starting to rotate down to the bottom of the map, so it could even be that they're trying to get the siege giants here. But the blue team is a little bit slower, is now pushing that through. And they timed it actually fairly okay. The problem is that at the same time we're still looking at a situation in which the minion wave stops the mercenaries, or this would all have played out over here where the towers have a chance to contribute and shoot a bit as well. But they are slowly taking this out. Stitches at 7 stacks now. Really diligent around the globes, at least this early on. Nice gravity lapse. Khaldor was immediately under attack from Greymane. He's obviously one of the squishies. Ooh, decent hook against May. She slides out, but still eats one of the tower shots. So that's still connected. But by now, well, what we're getting next is the push through the middle of the map, in an attempt to now also do a little bit of extra damage on those walls before we're even talking about something like web weavers, for example. We have 8 gems already turned in. They're very early on their turn-ins, and that's 20 gems that are already secured. I kind of like that. If you're rotating over, you see that's not a problem there. Turn the gems in, just deliver them, don't hold them too long. There's always the risk that the opponent is then getting a kill on you and you start losing out on those. But right now, they're doing okay there. I think even Leoric just turned in at the bottom of the map as a side laner. That's always a bit of a win. Tofu Freak here, slowly coming together, gets the connect with the jet propulsion. They try for Leo at the front, a little bit of a slow, might cause a problem for Greymane, but he is able to get out. Nice little fight between the teams. Still no kill, but we have currently nearly 10 globes, 11 actually, for Stitches. So Stitches is sitting at 11 globes. And another 9, and he will get 5% additional movement speed, and will then sit at 10 in total. So, yeah. Very good also when you're heading into Gorge. I mean, you will be able to get even more distance between the opponent and yourself. So, yeah, the hooks against Chromie in this case. There's no immediate follow-up. Kelthas with Gravity Lapse is probably your best bet in that case. But of course, later on, what we're also going to get is even an Entomb as an option from Leorki. So that's the next thing that they could do. 13 stacks now for Stitches. Late game stack. I mean, honestly, like late game stacking is definitely much better for the blue team here. Stitches can end up with such an absurd amount of hit points on this map. It is a bit on the ridiculous side. So I'm very curious to see if we're getting to that point. Stitches becomes nearly unkillable. Right now he's doing okay, but games change, dynamics just shift. Level 10 is going to change everything, but currently May in trouble, saves herself barely, and then Leo with a nice drain is eliminating her. Mei is down. 32 gems already delivered by the blue team, and now the opportunity to get the first Web Weaver wave. Interrupt on Kalthus though, but they are getting the 9 gems of Hanzo delivered, and here comes the rest. Blue team gets the first set of Web Weavers, so that's going to be the chance. Yep, that's going to be the opportunity to try and get some structures destroyed. Open a few walls up, see if you can do damage to the forts too, and try and take a slow lead in the game. Leo has been doing very well, by the way. Not only in that 1v1 that he plays down at the bottom of the map. Rabbit in this case drains before he swings. Normally, again, you want to swing and then drain. Get that slow connected first, and then you follow up on that. But with Web Weavers in play, this is all about structural damage right now. Another hook and a save. Able to slide out and save the day. But the wall will fall. They're going to get damage done here 100%. So only question is how much will be destroyed? How much can they actually get in this case? And yeah, right now things are still looking pretty okay for the blue team in the context that they are also going to get the experience for level 10 very quickly. Structurally, not that much that has been eliminated here. I mean, we're talking at the end of the day about a couple of towers that have been dropped. Maybe a few hit points on the forts. Bot lane in particular has lost the entire wall. But they have gathered experience that leads to level 10 very early. That guarantees them some easy turn-ins, some gems that they're holding. And a double turn-in and double Web Weavers would of course mean you can finally start aiming for the forts directly. Can they get those 2 in a row? That's a lot of momentum that you're building up there. Red team is about to hit their own heroics, but there's 30 gems, extra gems that are already turned in. Now we got heroics on both sides. With the ults, no real surprises. Ice Wall for Mei, maybe noteworthy here. And Greymane has gone for the throat. Stitches at 23 stacks now. So Stitches he has the Gorge, and do they get a pull from Anduin? Nope. Here comes the Ice Wall and the Self-Ancestral. Damn, he really wanted to survive. And then they switch targets over to Mei, who now is in real trouble. Light Bomb is completely stunning her out, can't even get in the bunker. So that's a kill. Hook hits hard into the arrow from Hanzo, and that's a double kill. 2 heroes down, 3 kills to 0 in total. Ziggy is a bit low, but survives. Has 22 gems that he's holding. Blue team can turn in, but they're also right there to move in on the fort and take the first one out. Down at the bottom of the map. Oh, if he has an entomb, that's a dead doggy. He's trying to ghost in, but nah, it's not working out yet. Rhaegar's a little bit too fast, but the fort has been destroyed. So that's also pretty big. And yeah, that's all pretty rough for the red team. It's a 1 level gap between the 2 teams, so that's already your first problem. Second problem is the turn-in that is very likely going to connect in a moment. And that, of course, doesn't help them either. They're behind the wall, Light Bomb stun, bye-bye Blaze. They're executing this really well. I mean, this entire setup has been working very well for them. Now even Rhaegar gets Hanzo'd here, that it's kill number 5. But if you think about how this plays out, they are always getting that Gorge, they get Light Bomb timed out well enough so that they hit the stun, and then the rest of the team follows up with additional CC and damage. So they are able to do a lot here. They haven't managed to get the second turn in a row though. That's where the blue team kind of messed up a little bit. I mean, messing up is maybe the wrong word here. The red team snuck in the gems, get the Web Weavers, but ever since they now killed those heroes, it also meant that there's nobody they can push with the Web Weavers, so this is essentially a waste of gems for the red team. And yeah, Sloth Sanctuary. They haven't lost a single hero yet. Nope, it's not even changing at the bot. Well, now it might change. Leo gets sucked in again, and he is the first one to fall. Leoric is down, Leoric is gone. Blue team now rotating back down to the bottom of the map to pick up the slack here. 15,000 damage for Greymane, 25,000 for Hanzo. But with 5 kills to 1, they're doing okay. Few more hits and an arrow. The Ancestral saving Greymane, but Rhaegar gets hit by Gorge And now it's the end of them. Rega is gone. That is kill number 6. And with the hook extension from Stitches on level 13, he's of course now able to get those connected from even further away. Even better for them. I mean, they're crushing it right now. There's that second turn that we've been talking about. I haven't even lost a whole lot of gems yet. Entomb, by the way. They could hit an Entomb here too. Stitch is most likely going to get another hook. Yep. But Entomb hasn't been connected yet. So, as of now, the blue team with a massive lead. Mogus Forales, they have to win a fight. Stitches is now at 33 stacks, which gives him a pretty sexy amount of extra hit points. Devour obviously gives him more sustain because it procs off the max HP as well. This is a pretty big one right there. And as it stands right now, this is giving them a lot. Now, with all of that in play, there's also the movement speed that we have to consider. Stitches has a much easier time now to keep up with all of this. And if he gets another 6 stacks, another 6 globes, then he's going to sit at 15% additional movement speed. Web Weavers at the bottom of the map destroyed the fort. There's also Siege Giants that are connecting here. In the middle, the defense has done well. But what's worrisome is also that there's only half a level missing until Sloth Sanctuary is grabbing their level 16 talent. So that is another one that will make things difficult. And we'll see. Because they have 42 gems already. It's not enough for a third turn-in, but they're getting dangerously close with it. The red team still has the gem count to get themselves another objective, but it is highly doubtful that they can easily just sneak this in. And I like this, by the way. They have a chance to turn this in, so they're just delivering all of their gems. They want to make sure they're not losing any of these. So, yep. So far, so good with this. Now, from here on out, with level 16 talents ready, the big question is, of course, what is the team in red now going to do in order to bring this back? Yeah. What are they now going to try and make happen here? Because they need to bridge 2 levels until they have even talents. And we now have Pulverize, which is huge, Fury of the Sunwell, and of course the Glyph of Faith. Absolutely massive when we're talking about Anduin's ability to save targets. Oh, have fun saving Great Mane. There's again the wall. Okay, Light Bomb. Nah, they're gonna slowly get. Are they gonna let it slide? They might not. Gravity Lapse connects hard, but so does the Ancestral. Good job by Rega. Very, very nice. Saving the target here, but Arrow also, woof. That one is heading straight for Florida. Might be held up at the border a little bit, so because of the extra tariffs right now, this Arrow is going to be a little bit more expensive. But generally speaking, the direction was on point. Now, with 6 kills to 1, seems like the blue team is going to start breaking through that wall here. Not quite yet. But there is also a boss that could still be taken. And with the talent advantage, they could just say, alright, we're going to do this now. The talent advantage would definitely allow them to go for the boss if they wanted to. Damage output throughout the game, 35,000 for Hanzo. Blue team is getting the next set of Web Weavers, and they should push their advantage now towards one of the keeps. I mean, the walls are already opened up, so of course you can move them now. 22,000 damage for Chromie in the meantime. Mogus Forales. They're trying to get the experience here. They're pinned down in their base. I mean, you can see them on the minimap. They're absolutely pinned down right now. They have to play slow. They have to try and get to level 16. They want to try and defend here, not lose too much. They have to deal with the Web Weavers in the middle, and up at the top, the wall is about to be opened up. But, well, yeah, there's already the quick hit towards the wall. That one's gone. Web Weaver at the bottom of the map could also become a concern quickly. The hooks, just nibbling, not getting any connects yet. But it's always dangerous as hell. They have to really watch out for Stitches in his positioning, and so far they've been doing exactly that. Bot lane not being dealt with. Arrow out, Chromie with the attempted play against Kalathas. That hasn't worked out. Here comes the ult from Mei. That only catches the front, only caught Leoric. That Kiwi, by the way, is mega low. Bot lane is also getting attacked. Keep over here at the top is about to fall. That one's gone, and at the bottom of the map, it's also going to take damage in just a second. So, they destroyed one keep. They can still rotate around and do a bit more work. But this is starting to become more than a small problem for the red team. Now, they have level 16 talents. That's the good news. They managed to grab the level 16 talents, but the top lane is wide open. If the boss is taken at any point, then the boss would move straight for the core. So they're trying to get kills here. Ancestral is out once more. Leo still has Entomb, could turn it. Gorge is also available. I'm just waiting for Leo to turn it around and drop his Entomb here. They decided against it. Phoenix is also ready in just a moment. Where's that Entomb? He's trying to save it for the next game. Phoenix is out. Rhaegar gets Gorged. Now the Entomb against Greymane. Bye-bye. He's gone. Easy kill. And they get 2 more. May and Rhaegar get wrecked. Ah, Chromie dodging. Dodging initially, but she's of course only delaying the inevitable. The gems are lost. She's gone. That's 4 heroes down. And that will allow them to now move in for the core. Can go through the top, go for the core directly. Blaze is the only survivor. He has 50 gems. Level 20 talents are available now as well. Not that it matters anymore. Everybody's gone. Greymane will be back in a second, but I don't think that he is going... Nah, he has nothing. Core is down to 30. This is the lead in the best of 3 series here at the winner bracket. We have Sloth Sanctuary with a 1-0 lead in the best of 3. GG.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Map number 2, Towers of Doom. Mocus Feralis lost on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Now a chance to turn the series around. This is a double elimination system, meaning whichever team loses still has a chance to go through the lower bracket. We have 10 heroes that have been played on the previous map that are now eliminated. So no more Stitches, Kelthas combo or anything of the sorts. Seems like the bans at least are going to be pretty similar. Sloth Sanctuary seems like they have this pretty much nailed down. They have a really good idea of what they want to play. They have a pretty good idea of what they not want to play against. So they're banning out Sergeant Hammer again. We've seen that from a few teams now. That just simply said, you know what, there's certain heroes that we just don't want to go up against. We're going to ban them out. That's just not something that we're comfortable with. And here, similarly, Mocus Feralis bans out Oriel. And there's the Alexstrasza ban. Now, that can have multiple reasons. Either it's a hero that you as a team really struggle against. Maybe not quite. But if you know that your opponent, for example, has a one-trick pony that is really, really strong on a specific hero and you consistently just ban that out in a series like this, that just makes perfect sense. But 10 heroes are now missing. I don't necessarily expect that this is going to be a big problem for the teams yet, but this might already cause some issues for some players. So, on Towers of Doom, we'll see what they're now going to pull off here. Mephisto gets banned again. Is also very reminiscent of the ban pattern that we've seen in game number 1. It's basically the same case here. And we get Brightwing. Brightwing as our first pick for another big map, of course. So already some global action. Talking about globals, we get the Haka as a direct response and Li Ming. And we've seen in some of the games here how Li Ming's can get an enormous amount of resets here and just go straight through the opponent, even without calamity at times. But blue team has done pretty darn well in game number 1. So can they now move further with this? Pull that off again. Oh, they go and draft the liability. Oof, okay. Anubarak Artanis. That feels a little bit like an unforced error. Reminds me of a certain tariff policy that we're currently seeing in the world. Yeah, not really a very popular pick here in the sense that the win rate on that fella is not necessarily the best. Can they pull that off? Time will tell, I guess. Vala gets banned out, but I did not see that pick coming. Not that early, and not here. Battlefield, fair enough. But they ban out Jojo. So targeting the opponent's front line here too. With the Nubarak, you of course want to dive in deep, so you would expect there's going to be another dive hero that they're going to get for themselves. And right now, for the red team, Main tank, healer, Garrosh plus. I mean, Garrosh can already... If Anubarak is too aggressive, Garrosh can punish that for sure. And they get Stukov. Okay. So... The blue team has definitely made a statement with that tennis pick. I'll tell you that much. That was definitely something. Going straight for a tennis there has surprised me a bit. Now, what else are they going to pull off? We need still a damage dealer. We actually need 2 damage dealers. Could go for another melee hero, but 1 range is needed 100%. And oh my god. Jimmy and Zagara. That draft escalated quickly. If you look at this, Atanas, Zagara, and Reyna don't have a really great track record here, and the opponent goes for Alarak. So now I get Alarak for Mogus Ferales, which also can be a little bit hit or miss, but that's a lot of comps that they have that also center around silence. So very curious to see who wins this. Towers of Doom, map number 2. The Sloths on the left in blue. As I said before, if they're really lazy, they're going to win this game because then they don't have to go to game number 3. We got Morpheus on Anubarak, Zal's Decay on Reyna. Waiting for that level 1 talent. We got Lucy on Zagara, Tiny Owl on Brightwing, and the Rabbit with Protector of Ire on level 1. I like the choice. Ace in the hole. Makes the most sense for them here, so good move by the blue team. On the right side, we got Ziggy on Stukov, playing for Mogus Ferales, Tofu Freak on Dehaka. We get Captain Barney on Garrosh, Taylor Wax on Li Ming, and Punch McFist is playing Alarak in game number 2. It's match point. Match point for the blue team. And of course, we have right off the bat the initial brawl in the middle. And yeah, having my eye on Anubarak a bit too. As I said during the draft, if he jumps into aggressively, specifically against someone like Garrosh, he can end up in some trouble very quickly. Now, as we're moving through the early game, once again a reminder, guys, this is all hosted in cooperation with HeroesLounge. If you don't know about them yet, they are the biggest amateur scene in Heroes of the Storm. And honestly, they've been around for years and years and years. You can sign up even as a North American player. They're based in Europe, but they have several players from North America that are playing with them. So if you're based in NA and you want to play there, you can do that too. Check out the website, heroeslounge.gg. You can sign up for the next league as an individual player. You can sign up as a team. Everything is totally fair game there. They have multiple divisions, so it doesn't matter if you're playing in Plastic League or if you are a Grandmaster. If you want to play with some like-minded people, have a bit of a competitive edge, you know, just like theory craft with others, you can do that there. Way more engaging and way more fun than just queuing up for Quick Match or for Hero League. And they have a very active community, and specifically Discord community too. So if you will go to the website and you have any questions, then just click the Discord link, ask them there. They're super helpful with all of that. And again, they've been around for ages. They're fantastic. So if you haven't checked them out yet, you should definitely do so. So big thumbs up for HeroesLounge. And I can... If you want to rediscover your love for the game, this is the way to do it. Which is all I'm saying. What the blue team is rediscovering is the lethality with which they dominated game number 1. And they use it to get the first blood again, as Jimmy is the one to eliminate Garrosh. Hit him right between the eyes. So big hit here. Garrosh goes down. Now the jump for kill number 2, and bye Stukov. Stukov is dead as well, and that is the 2nd kill for Sloth Sanctuary. Good for them. So very early on already a double kill for the team. And they might be able to build on that a bit more, but this is them off to a great start. 2 kills in the early game is not really that biggest deal in the world, but if you just look at the experience gain that they made, they have now in total a 1 level advantage over the opponent. So this is already pretty huge. I mean, 1 level lead at this point in time is pretty sexy. You are instantly in a position where you will have access to an earlier level 7 talent, very likely. And of course, you can then build on that with the extra talent. Natana's getting a couple of stacks here together. So far is holding his own. Alarak and him exchange the altars at the top right, top left. But here in... Oh, actually, they let this go. They didn't complete the channel. Instead, they're now trying to go for a kill. But Alarak with a combo destroys Jimmy. And Anubarak is dead too. Brightwing moved in too late. There's the attack against the liability. And Artanis is, as usually, getting trashed. So, they come back with a vengeance. Focus Morales is getting aggressive and uses 3 kills to get back into the game. I honestly think I might have missed an interrupt, but it looked to me that the channel heroes on the altar stopped the channel. If they don't stop that, the altar gets taken and they are in a great spot there. So it was a bit wild, and then the rest of the team just simply moved into a choke point against Alarak, which was immediately punished. And yeah, huge problem for them there. Now, there's a couple of level 7 choices. I actually really don't like Zai's Vengeance. Full-on orb build is like, big question mark for me. Seems also that it could happen that we get another glass cannon game, but the lack of Calamity is a bit concerning. Now, the blue team has a bit of newfound respect for their opponents as the camp is quickly abandoned. Zagara has gone into Invented Spines level 4. And they're now starting to jump in here immediately for the next potential play. So the question here is simply, what can they now do to get back into this? Obviously, they were off to a great start, but then shortly after, with that quick triple kill that was executed by the red team, they took the lead and are now the ones that are essentially making the plays here. And Trash Tannis at the top is again in trouble. Rabbit gets murdered. Yep, that's another kill. So Artanis is getting crushed and Alarak is sitting at 123 status now. So we have currently level 10 a little bit closer for the red team. And we'll see if this turns after heroic abilities kick in. But right now, it is the red team that is making the moves. Final cut on Artanis. Yep, here comes the jump. Oh, can they get a kill here? Hello? No, not yet. Instead, they have to be careful that they don't lose a hero, because Artanis wasn't even here when all of this started. The Haka is coming in on the other hand. Has to pop his essence as well. They're starting to dive in again. Jimmy is low, but so is Garrosh. He makes it out though. But the problem that the blue team has is that any moment now we're going to get a level 10 ability for the red team. So re-engaging into that fight would be quite the risk to take here. And yeah, they're not gonna do it. So currently the altar gets channeled. That means 36 points against 24. We have level 10 kicking in. That gives us, by the way, the laser show. Against, I mean, against Nubarak, it makes sense. He's going to go for Cocoon. So once that's the case, you can burn down the Cocoon with this integrate and make that happen pretty quickly. Jimmy is now eliminated too. I gotta say, the draft that we saw in game number 1 really looked solid and made a lot of sense for Sloth Sanctuary. Right now, there needs to be some real serious individual plays in order to turn this one around. We get more, we get the orbital bombardment, but I think particularly the Artanis pick is a little bit of a meme. That one kind of shocked me, I gotta say. Didn't see that one coming, not in game number 2 and not on this map. If this was at least Battlefield of Eternity, I still don't like him there either. But that's still something where I'm like, alright, I can still see the idea behind it. But right now, there's a lot of heroes that don't have mobility. Where Jimmy, Zagara are both very squishy and can easily be taken out. And with Anubarak at the front barely surviving, can they really turn this? Anubarak is low, needs to dive out. Could potentially, they go for Garrosh and they actually get the kill. They tried to kill Anubarak and just couldn't. But the counter kill against the tank. Sloth Sanctuary is not out of this yet. They have been slapped around a bit in the last few minutes, but they are not out of this game yet. The gap in experience is only half a level. That's not too much. That can be bridged. And this is a late game map. If you gain late game momentum, you can bring it back with bell towers very, very easily. Bottom bell tower can now easily be grabbed, so that's 4 shots fired, but Artanis is dead again in the middle. Artanis is a punching bag at the end of the day. I mean, again, That bell tower, by the way, is taking a lot of damage. Oof. If those pumpkins would have connected, they would have converted that over. Now, damage-wise, what do we have? 25,000 for Alarak. Top damage in the game. Easy. Zagara is sitting behind with 21,000. Obviously, later on, when we're gonna go into a 13, 16, 20 talent, her damage will be a lot higher and will really pressure the front line. Li Ming has gone, as expected, for Glass Cannon. So if they can get to Li Ming, that would be awesome. Can they, though? That's the question here. Alarak has gone into Deadly Charge, just as a bit of a side note. So, there's that. And now, with 13 talents on one side, the blue team again should be careful before they engage into any kind of team fight, because they don't have that yet. Ming is just using a laser show here. Full ham on that. It will be interesting how Anugrag is going to deal with all of this. If he can jump in and make some plays against Li Ming, that would be nice. But as I said before, if Garrosh pays attention, that might very quickly turn against you, and then you are just going to get wrecked. The combo towards the end with the damage on Jimmy and Zagara is really a bit weird to me too. But hey, as I said before, they are not out of this game yet. So, that stun didn't connect with anything. Jimmy immediately wants to close the gap. Can't. The stun misses though. So, that's a problem. And already the team fight popping up. Deadly Charge. And bye-bye Zagara. They are saving Brightwing somehow. No clue how that happened. But they are still alive. So, the ability to keep at least some of the heroes alive that should die in these fights is big. But killing someone on the other end is always tough. There's just a lot of damage that comes with the initial barrage from Mocus Ferales. And now with another altar channeled, it's 20 points to 32. What they really, really need is... it's like a teamfight victory to get some momentum. And Alarg is, of course, Alarg is just in there getting himself some extra sadism. He's sitting at 146 now. The stacks for Artanis at 61 is just such a poor, it's such a sad level. Yeah, now that talent, oh, careful. That gap is much bigger now. Inexperience. There's the combo. Alarak, they go for Nubarak, and 6 hit points. He was at 6 HP and is able to get out. But the team is still continuously on the run, that's the problem. Only if something like this happens, where the red team gets too aggressive, tries too desperately to get a kill, are they able to lock in some points. So they're taking down, well, they're taking down Garrosh, but what can you do with that now? Your opponent just unlocked level 16. They can get the bell tower at the bottom of the map. So if they grab that, that's going to be nice. And Nubarak, again, soaking up a lot of damage, but the bell tower conversion has happened. It's a triple altar phase that is now ready. But it will be a 5 versus 5 with level 16 talents being available only for the red team. So if they can get 2 out of this, great. I guess as long as they get 1, they're still in a halfway decent spot. But still, we'll see how exactly they're going to handle this objective phase. They are getting the 1 at the bottom, but at the top, yeah. No. Oh, that isolation was a little bit too optimistic. No. That didn't do anything. So they're trying, but it's 2 altars for the red team. Actually, he wasn't interrupted. Ah! And there's the channel. So 6 shots fired against 5. That missed 2. Can they at least get a kill? Instead, Zagara, as she comes in for the maw, is immediately met by some aggression. But they're going for Garrosh again, and Garrosh is gone. Garrosh is gone. 16 on both sides now. And they're gonna get Stukov. So maybe the blue team still has a shot here. After they used some more passive talents for Zagara on level 13, they now have Corrosive Saliva. So that works well for her. They go for the boss real quickly, and in a 5 versus 3 scenario, there's no chance of the red team snacking this one away. So now we're looking at 6 kills to 8. 14 points on the core against 23. Bottom bell tower hasn't been taken yet. Maybe they are able with Zagara to also pressure the one in the middle a little bit. But nobody's defending this down here. So they seem to be absolutely willing to let this one slide, let them retake it, as long as they're getting some damage done elsewhere on the map. And even there they're not pushing too aggressively. Maybe at the top, but they're just roaming, going for some extra mercenaries. Alarak is gonna be a monster, by the way. He is at 33,000 damage. A little bit behind Jimmy and Zagara, but on his team, he is currently the top dog. I'm trying to invade here. Nice damage against... against Garrosh! The problem is that massive engage that we're getting from Alarak every single time. If they can take Alarak down and reset his sadism, that would be a huge win for them. Alarak is honestly winning the game currently for Mogus Ferralis. The front line is starting to struggle more and more, meaning Garrosh. He nearly died there, but because he didn't and then Alarak just came in and ruined everything, Jimmy fell. And once that you get Alarak in the middle of your comp, and on top of that you have him just destroy your damage dealer, you just don't have the output anymore. So 4 shots are fired. That means we have now 19 points to 10 after the channel here comes through. 18 to 18. But they need Jimmy. And they're running out of time. They're soon going to drop down into the single digits. More kills are needed. And Alarak is the one that is wrecking them. Absolutely wrecking them. 167 sadism now. So, yeah. Still curious to see how the blue team plans on turning this around. They need to be in a position where they're dealing with Alarak a bit. A catch like that would of course happen. There's a quick swap. Alarak comes in, tries again, gets cocooned immediately. And now they can go for Garrosh. They nearly get the kill here, but now they can turn it. And they again lose Jimmy. It's Alarak, 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 Alarak. Every single time. Can they at least take one here out? They can. Stukov is gone. StarCraft heroes are apparently dying all over the place right now. So it is the end of Stukov. Stukov gets murdered here. And yep, it's a 4 versus 4. But the experience gap is widening. 5 deaths on Jimmy. He is the primary target. Jimmy gets attacked whenever there's an opportunity. Coming in and they're taking him out. So yeah, really, really bad news for him, of course. Down at the bottom of the map, the red team is again assembling. They're gonna get Stukov back a little bit later. Ooh, Atanis gets killed again. Shocker. But maybe they can go for Alarak. That would be the sadism gone. If they can kill him, that would be the dream. And they just can't. They should have tried to get a kill here. Atanis dying again is a problem because now we have a double altar phase. They are attempting to chase off Garrosh so they can at least get one of the altars here. Garrosh is taking tons of damage, but not enough. Altar is taken, and now they need to fall back. They're up against level 20, and they have a numbers disadvantage. They're down in the single digits. They're sitting at 6 points. It is still salvageable, but Mogus Ferralis wants to have game number 3. They want to go to the final map. They don't want to drop out here. This is the chance to still make that winner bracket run a reality, as long as they are not losing in this second game. So they're throwing everything against the opponent. 182 stacks now for Alarak. And obviously by now he has Counter-Strike, Li Ming with Tal Rushas. 20 isn't quite there yet for the blue team. It will be in a moment. We're gonna have a single altar next. So any plays into the middle of the map are silly right now. Yeah, Garrosh. They are still hoping to get an easy kill here. It's nice damage, but they definitely need to wait for 20. Why are you moving towards the middle of the map? Get back there. Exactly. Stukov is already helping you. Okay, so now we got rewind. Double bombardment is in. Rest of the team also has to pick their 20s. The swap attempt already failed. Tyrant more for Zagara. And Jimmy went for Raider's roll. They're trying to keep him alive. Here comes Alarak. Gets the damage connected. Save from Brightwing. Jimmy is still alive. Jimmy survived. Double more. Here's the double more. Maybe now the opportunity. Stun is trying to come in. They're going for Garrosh again. He's sitting up at the front. Takes a ton of damage. And the second charge from Artanis. But they still could not get the kill. Even after negating the play here, they couldn't get that kill that they needed. Neither against Alarak nor against Garrosh.
So now they're trying for the altar, trying for position here. Alarak 10 seconds and he has his ult back up. They're making the move again for Garrosh. They want to try and take him out. Alarak comes in from the side but can't get the kill. Misses out on it. Artanis on the other hand, isolated by the Haka. Again the stuns and, well, Artanis could try and come in here. Maw is back up in 30 seconds and the channel is already going on. There's the double stun into the back line. Garrosh is low. Li Ming tries from the side with one hit after another. The stun against Stukov. They try for Stukov. They try for Garrosh. Can they finally get a kill here? They can't get the swap, but in comes Alarak and maybe they can get the kill now, and they can. Worthy trade. Reset on Sadism. That was huge. The kill. Nope. Li Ming. She's dead as well. The nice cocoon play from Anubrak, making it work. 4 shots fired. Alarak got reset. Alarak got reset. That one was massive. They needed that. They absolutely needed that move. No more sadism for him. He's sitting at 64,000 damage. Now it's a 4 versus 3, and they're pushing aggressively. The swap. He didn't even want to go for that swap, did he? Was that really the target? But they still couldn't get the kill. Big shove coming out from Stukov on the isolation from the Haka. It's 6 points to 11. The boss is up. They could go for a boss now.
They haven't gotten anything out of those kills. Outside of the altar itself, they haven't gotten anything. This is worrisome. Yes, you reset Alarak. That's going to make it harder for him to get these solo kills that he's been ripping throughout the entire game. But still, you need to get a little bit more. You're down to 6 points on your core. Single altar phase is coming up next. I still can't believe that they didn't go for boss. They definitely had a big chance there. But now they're pushing for the bot lane. They escort the pumpkins in. Garrosh is hoping for a chance here. Pumpkins are making their way through and haven't quite taken it out yet. Lots of poke coming on now. Yeah. Up at the top. Yeah, immediately like Stukov trying to get a hit in. Bell tower has been converted over. That's a nice position now for the blue team. Very difficult for the red team to move in here. They don't have an escape path again. They move towards it. They want to force the team fight, but they can't move back. The drag on Anubrak, the combo. They're trying to save the day. Right wing comes in, helps out. They turn it on the Haka. In comes Garrosh, and he dies. Alarak gets cocooned and he engages. Stukov is low. They want to go for him. Alarak with a counter-strike misses it. He's in trouble. He is dead. They get the double kill. Trash Tannis in the back, about to die too. And he still survives. They get the Haka instead. The sloths, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody told them that if they lose here, they will have to play another game. And they are way too lazy for that shit. So now 5 shots are fired. It's 6 to 6 points on the core. Boss is a necessity. They need to drop that boss. That doesn't end the game, but that is 4 points. It doesn't end the game for you, but it definitely gives you the upper hand. Li Ming screws up! Li Ming! No! What a mistake to make in that situation. She tried to teleport over and couldn't. And now the pumpkins at the bottom of the map. We could see some connects there. Stukov is trying to do his thing. One pumpkin connects. They got the bell tower in the middle. And of course they're going for full bell tower control right now, instead of aiming for the boss. If they just get the bell tower and then move towards the boss, it's a guaranteed victory. And it will be. They can't take the bell tower back. So right now, boss gets attacked. The sloths, they turn it. What a comeback. What an insane comeback. In game number 2 of the series here in the winner bracket. The game's over. The shots are fired. This is it. Mokus Forales drops down into the losers bracket as Sloth Sanctuary advances in the winner bracket of Underdog Cup number 2. GG.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.